Okay, everybody, here we go. I'm laughing. I'm laughing. Should I be laughing? I don't know. Look, first of all, number one, I hope you can hear me and see me. Number two, if they cut me off like last time, I'm not even going to wait. I'm going to go right back into another live stream. All right, just so you guys and girls know what's going on here. Anyway, look, post market wrap up Wednesday, January 15th, 2025. Uh, let's people look, man. How many of you recall over the last week, you and I, especially me, screaming from rooftops that if central banks did not take action, immediate action with regard to the debt market, this is over. Well, we got that today. We got this in a massive way. Again, we're not just going to think about the US market here. Bond yields around the world simultaneously just fell through the freaking floor. As a matter of fact, I sent this out to you guys and girls who subscribe to my newsletter 100% free. Let's talk about this. So, it's just a coincidence that around the entire world, bond yields are in free fall. I wrote here, Lions, world bond yields, which have been rising dramatically over the past few weeks, are now suddenly, and of course, just by coincidence, all dropping simultaneously. We, both you and I, have discussed again over the last week that if central banks did not act immediately to intervene the debt market, all this would implode. Well, obviously they have taken action. And I'm going to give you a little clue here. Are you ready to hear the clue? And you already know the clue. This is probably the first installment to keep this Ponzi. This goes beyond a Ponzi. To keep whatever this is going, they can't just stop here. Central banks must buy more, and it can't be static. They got to buy more and more and more and more just to make it function. You understand? Now, this is a mechanism here to allow themselves to inflate. Imagine our shock here. Look, there was always the chance that they could have let this go right now. We were on the edge. We're on the edge constantly. This entire situation is constantly on a nice edge here, and it requires enormous, astronomical amounts of cash to be pumped into the system. How does the Fed or any central bank do what they're doing right now? They have to add digits to a screen and then buy the debt. Bond yields drop. That's what's going on here. Did you see what happened to cryptocurrencies today? Commodities today, the stock market. Now, the stock market, nice gains for the stock market. A lot of that was short covering. All right. Now, I'm here to tell you something maybe you know already if you subscribe to my newsletter. Again, in your inbox right now. This may not be over, this sell-off here. And I'm taking a little poll here. It looks like 49% of you believe this is a bull trap. 46% of you so far believe that stocks are going higher. Now, again, for stocks to go higher, central banks must continue to buy more debt exponentially, and we must see rates lower moving forward. You know you're going to get it. It was a campaign promise by President-elect Trump. That's what central banks want to do, none more so than the Federal Reserve. So, just to summarize real quick, what we witnessed today, do you really believe this was a coincidence here? That you and I have been calling for immediate action. In other words, if they didn't do this immediately, this would all end. Well, they've actually taken action here. And then what did they do this on? The back of consumer prices continuing to rise and wholesale prices yesterday continuing to rise. Jay Gunn, thank you. You guys and girls, do you realize how far ahead of the curve we are? It's just freaking incredible. Now, with regard to the market, let's just cover a few things. This is what happened today on the back of cratering bond yields. I do not have, unfortunately, I forgot to print it for you, an MMRI final reading for the day. It was epic. I think it's somewhere around 314. It hit a record high yesterday or the day before, and I think we're somewhere around 314. We're still not in a good spot here. Just so you know, with regard to risk in this market, the MMRI is still in a red zone. Exactly. Anyway, so a lot of this, again, short squeeze. A lot of people, in fact, I know for a fact, some of you out here, some of my lions who wrote to me yesterday, I said, be cautious. In fact, I said, I don't think it's a good idea to short this market because we don't know what central banks are going to do. And I set up a couple of strategies for you, low risk strategies. Look, man, no one makes this easier for you than me. Not only did I tell you the strategies you should use, 3 specifically, I outlined, thank you. What do you say? I outlined exactly line by line how to set up the trades. Okay. I got your back. You know that. I will never let you down. But for those of you that were naked short this market, you got beat over the head pretty bad. And that's why you saw a lot of this here, unfortunately. Let us move forward. You got gold. Look at silver. Look at this here. Why? What's going on here? Look at crude oil. Okay. This is, again, dollar devaluation. Now with that central banks are in here buying it all. Imagine our shock. Wait a minute. Central banks are buying it all? Of course they are. That's their end game. That's their goal. Currency purchasing power loss. People, I'm telling you, I'm going to say it again. What did I tell you at the end of last year? Currency purchasing power losses are going to accelerate so fast this year. Again, that's why we are being bridged so rapidly into the new system. We're being the crypto capital of the world, not the constitutional money capital of the world. It's insane. It really is. It's an asylum for the insane. Look at XRP. How many of you are surprised here? You remember when I bought XRP? 49 cents? How about that? That was just my most recent purchase. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. And those of you as well who got in with me are doing pretty well. Those of you that got in at Bitcoin 17.5, you think you've done pretty well? Anyway, look, I want to show you something else. And I want to talk to you about a few other things. And with this market, hold that thought because we got a problem here. Here's a headline for you. Today, California wildfires could slow the economy and boost inflation. They're already setting up the scapegoat. Remember, it can't possibly be because the Fed is in here artificially suppressing rates. Trump promising you that you're going to get lower rates, something he has no power to deliver. Look, don't get triggered, anyone. Don't trigger yourself, all right? No president, not just Trump, no president has the ability to lower rates. There's no printing press that exists in the Oval Office. There's no trading desk that exists in the Oval Office, but a president can work with a central bank to lower rates by saying, hey, you know what? We need low rates. And that's what's being set up here. An economic slowdown on a scale you're not going to believe. And they're going to blame it on whatever they're going to blame it on. And you're going to hear, we need lower rates because this is exactly what we heard during Trump's last tenure, calling the Fed boneheads. I love that name. And the Fed was like, well, lower rates when appropriate. And that's what they're going to hear. They're setting it up. They think you're dumb. Both Trump and the Fed, okay, you want to get triggered? I don't care. I really don't. This is a fact. We know this from last time. They're setting up the game for you. You want to be played, let yourself get played. But Trump is going to come out as the economy free falls. Oh, it's because of fires and we got to bail this all out. Hold that thought too. And that's why we're seeing the economy slow because it's so strong because I am the greatest individual who's ever existed or took a breath of air on this planet Earth. I walk on water. But the Fed, they're not doing the right thing. They should be lowering rates. We should be going negative rates. And the Fed's going to say, we will lower rates, sir, when it's appropriate. Meanwhile, look, man, when this happens, and it's going to, mark my words, save the video, foam is going to be pouring out of the mouths of those that dwell within the halls of the Federal Reserve. They're going to have to change their underpants several times as they orgasm themselves because that's all a central bank wants to do, inflate. And the more calls they get to keep rates low or lower them, even going negative, the happier a central banker becomes because they get to issue more of their product to the world. You understand? It's a game. Don't let yourself get caught up in it. With regard to this, they're already setting you up for something else. Let me explain this to you. There's all these issues with insurance companies. I already covered this, but I'm going to say it again. Let's say you want to insure your house and your property and your car and everything else, and you sign up with a really, really good insurance company that's been around for 100 years, 75 years, whatever it is. They're going to tout how long they've been around. You know what they do? They take your lovely insurance policy, they combine it with a whole bunch of others based on risk, and then they sell these off to the investment banks in the form of a credit default swap. These are chopped up into tranches as well and sold off according to risk. So it's not really the superb insurance company that you just signed up with and paid a premium for that. It's the investment bank now that bought the credit default swap who's actually responsible if they default. There's no talk about this. If you hear anything, listen. You see, because the silence is deafening. Turn on CNBC. Turn on Bloomberg. Turn on Fox Business. There's no mention at all regarding who's actually now responsible for what's going on over there. They're already telling you there's no money. They're already telling you there's going to be a federal bailout. Oh, how about the credit default swaps? Let me tell you what's not going to be allowed to happen, just so you know. There's no way, again, that these institutions, these banks are going to pay for it. You're going to pay for it as you did last time during the meltdown of 08. This is a very bad situation here, just so you know. And they'll burn down not just the entire state of California, but half the nation and maybe all of it if they have to have something to blame for the economic slowdown and why the Fed has to stimulate and lower rates to zero. Oh, you just wait for the setup here. Anything they can come up with, even the stuff of nightmares, okay, to allow themselves to inflate. People, look, man, what we really should be focusing on here, honestly, look, I'm a big crypto guy. All of you know that. I own a fair amount of this stuff. I love what I'm seeing right now, and so do you if you're in the crypto space, okay? I do not want to see the United States be the crypto capital of the world here. I want to see us be the constitutional money capital of the world. You want to see, you know, really what Trump could have done? He could have said, listen, guys, we're going to be returning to a constitutional money system. Some of you are still locked in the same delusion that you were locked in last time. He's going to end the Fed. And there's YouTubers, I know he's saying this. They have no idea what they're talking about. They're trying to get you to watch their videos. That's all they're doing here. If you fall through that trap door, then you're just as stupid as you were last time. It's not happening. We are moving further and further and further away from a constitutional money system. We could stop it. We could kill the Federal Reserve if Trump had the BALLS. Look, is this triggering you? If it is, I don't apologize, because this is a fact and you know it is in your heart. If we were actually going back to a constitutional money system instead of being the crypto capital of the world, which is a product of central banks and their bridge to the new system, we could end central banking. If we could take down one central bank, they all fall. You understand? But they're the puppet masters. They're the ones who dictate who gets the money and where it all goes. You and me, we get to decide nothing, not even who sits behind the Resolute desk, and you know it. We could, if we had a real leader, fix this entire thing for you and me. But all this is about for the billionaires. That's who runs the show. That's it. The rest of us, we're nothing. Are you kind of you understand what's actually happened to you? Oh, you still think that things are going to be different now? You can't make it up. Anyway, so understand, we're being set up at multiple levels, and there's part of it for you. Imagine how shocked you are. You're going to be on the hook. No talk about, and you think that I'm making this stuff up. Open up a new window while you're sitting here. Right now, open up a new window and say, how do insurance companies work? Do they actually use credit default swaps? Yeah, it's the first thing that's going to come up. Yes, they do. Who else is telling you that? Nobody. Anyway, look, with regard to this market, this is in your inbox, okay? Lions, before you get back into this market, look at this. Now, this is what I sent you specifically. This is called a falling down the stairs pattern. This is the S&P 500, the high back in December 6th, and where we are today. Are you noticing this falling down the stairs pattern? You see this? I'm falling down the stairs. This doesn't look too promising now, at least to me. I am not buying here. Okay. I'm still 90% out of this market. Clemente, thank you. President Musk versus VP Trump. Don't say that too loud. You're going to get yourself in trouble. Does seem that way, doesn't it? Anyway, look. This is where we are now. Without, again, more intervention in the debt market, this could easily fall off of a cliff. Again, this is the broader market. This is the S&P 500. I wanted to show you this, all right? You see what I'm talking about here? La-dee-da, la-dee-da, la-dee-da. Who knows where we're going? I don't know where we're going. I'm not even going to speculate on where we're going. What I can tell you is the MMRI still remains in a red zone. Yes, in fact, global, just a coincidence that the whole thing collapsed today. Right, Steve F? You know that. Thoughts on 3 to 5 months? Dude, I don't know, man. You're talking about naked, or you're gonna set this stuff up? Look, you got to be very careful here, everyone. Look, in the face of what I am showing you here, this should tell you that, first of all, yes, this can go higher, or it can go lower. To push this higher from where we are today, again, December, where we are now, to go higher is going to require off the freaking Richter scale buying by central banks in the debt market to keep rates suppressed. I know Trump promised you this, something he can't deliver. He can work with the Fed to make it happen. I do believe personally the Fed is going to lower rates, and I think the potential here for negative rates is enormous. And that's really two reasons, and you're entitled to your own opinion on this. Two, I've told you this a million times, why Trump was selected as president. To bridge us into the new system, to make us the crypto capital, not the constitutional money. And two, because he's a proponent of negative rates. You don't believe this? You think I'm making this up? Look at what happened last time. People, come on, man. All right. It didn't change. Nothing changed. And he promised you lower rates. Lower rates means what? Purchasing power losses, meaning what? Your life is going to get a lot harder as the purchasing power of your currency evaporates. This is what the goal is of every central bank. And it seems like, in this case, I'm going to call a spade. It's Trump. Would it have changed with the cackling Kamala? Hell freaking no. When she's a non-human entity. These are not even human beings. None of them are. Trump isn't human. Kamala isn't human. They don't possess a human quality. All they're about is destroying you and then lying to you and trying to convince you that their lies are actually real. I mean, come on, man. But anyway, we got to be very careful here, people. Okay. I need to see a lot happen for me to really get back into this market again. This falling down the stairs pattern, this may just be the beginning. If central banks don't get in here and continue what they did today, more, well, then where do you think the market's going? Much, much lower. If, in fact, they get in here and they start buying it all, which is their goal anyway, well, then maybe the market's going much, much higher. We got a glimpse today, a little glimpse into where the economy is going to go. They're already setting us up. The economy is going to slow down. Inflation is going to go higher. But it looks like they've already picked a scapegoat. And you know they have to have one. You're going to see politicians, whoever they may be, pointing at this event, another event. Oh, this is why the economy is slowing. Oh, this is why inflation is rising. Inflation meaning currency devaluation here, loss of purchasing power. They can't blame themselves, of course, and nobody is going to point their finger at the Federal Reserve. What you're going to hear is the Fed's not lowering rates fast enough out of Trump's mouth, just like last time. You want to fix this problem without going back to a constitutional money system, which we know we're not going back to. The polar opposite needs to happen. We need much higher rates, which means the market would be nowhere where it is. The market is floating on astronomical oceans of debt. It's not real. You understand? And the mechanism here of artificially suppressed rates, currency devaluation, is keeping the market afloat. It's a lie. There's no market. The markets, all of it, is a lie. You understand? I hope you do. So could this be fixed? Yeah, it could be fixed. You're going to take a hit. Your 401k plans, your investments, they're all going to take a hit. But it's going to take a hit anyway. To fix the currency, okay, to give you back what's rightfully yours, what you work for every day, which is the privilege to borrow central bank notes into existence when you work. That's all you do. You understand that, right? You don't own those dollars from the Fed or euros. They're owned by the issuing central bank, and they're owed back to the issuing central bank plus interest. They create out nothing. Okay, that's what you do every day. We all work for that, to borrow cash into existence. Imagine being a central banker and having that kind of power. Okay, so the situation is this. Again, if we had a real leader, they'd be telling you, he in this case would say, we need much higher rates that would give you back your purchasing power. You know what I'm going to tell you. I'm going to say it again for the new people here. Ronix, thank you. Trump derangement system. Is that what you have? I'm sorry. Use your $2 to get to a doctor. This is what they do. And this is what they're going to do here again. Understanding that to have a strong economy, you need a strong currency. And to have a strong currency, being that we're not going back to a gold-backed system, you need to have a rate of interest high enough to support it. When you hear a politician or a central banker, in this case, we're talking about the same thing, promising you lower rates, okay, what does it mean? It means a weaker currency. It doesn't help you. It helps the market. It sure as heck helps the 1% and 2%ers. You know that. It's an economic wrecking machine, but no one's going to tell you. They're going to set up some kind of a scheme here to blame. They must assign blame. It's always the same. Look, whenever something like this happens and you hear stories like this is today, it's about assigning blame. They have to set you up. You understand? It's all following. This was all planned out, of course. We all know that. This thing here, how many of you actually believe this is by accident? Just an act of, certainly is an act of the God I know. But of course, all this stuff and everything else connected to it. This is all just deliberate. It's devilism in many, many ways. I guess you can use that term, right? But that's the truth here. And I really while we're here right now and we got up to this point, how many of you think just so far I've nailed it to the wall? Greg, you nailed it. Greg, you're wrong. Let me just see a couple of comments here. Because I don't know another way, honestly, to explain this to you guys in the most plain, straightforward way that I possibly can. It should, what I say to you guys and girls really should make sense to you. It should hit you the right way. You should hear it and say, you know what? That actually makes sense to me. Let me just say this too. I was on earlier today with Liberty and Finance, and he asked for me for my closing statement. My closing statement was this: I'm not going to connect with everybody. That's the truth. I have my own style. A lot of people don't like my style, whatever it might be. That's who I am, and I can't change it. Okay, I'm not looking to change who I am. I think most of you are here because you appreciate the fact that I give it to you straight and hard. Generally, it's a good thing. Some people don't like it that way. Okay, whatever. The fact of the matter is I'm not going to change. And if I don't connect with you, that's fine. There's no way I can connect to everybody. But I believe what I'm saying with all of my heart and all of who I am is true, based upon everything that we're seeing here, people. Now, if I'm not the guy, if I'm not the person you're connecting with, I don't know what to say. A lot of people say, oh, Greg, well, you're this and you're that. And they say, well, tell me how I can improve. Okay, I can't change who I am. But find somebody else that you can connect with that's maybe giving you the same message. Because anyone who understands the dynamics in play is going to tell you the same things. That's why you could look for people who have relatively large followings, okay? They have a common thread, is they're telling people the truth and the people know it. And not everyone's going to get it, people. I think we're pretty much on the same page. Anyway, that's kind of where we're at with all this stuff, guys and girls. Is there anything you want to... Are you guys clear on this? This falling down the stairs pattern? I want you guys and girls to be very careful. Understanding that without what we've seen today, this worldwide phenomenon all simultaneously. Okay, like this is just coincidence, right? And this happened because we got some great economic news today, right? You know the mechanism. The faster the economy gets destroyed, the higher they're going to push the market, and they're going to do that how? By lowering rates or promising you lower rates and then making it happen. And that doesn't help you. It doesn't help the economy. Let me ask you seriously. Have you ever heard a central banker explain this to you? Probably not. Have you heard a president explain this to you? Biden doesn't know if he's alive anymore. Kamala, she doesn't have a clue anyway. Trump knows. And that should bother you a little bit because he can't tell you the truth because his handlers, he's a puppet. Okay. They're all puppets. Every president is a puppet and they are owned by a central bank, in this case, the Federal Reserve, working with the Fed to bring you lower rates, to tell you that they should be cutting rates to negative like last time. It's going to happen because the economy is not going to improve here. The trajectory from where we are at is pretty obvious. And the fact that we're going to get lower rates, which is, again, a wrecking machine for the economy and, of course, the people, doesn't help you. It's a mechanism to wipe out the middle class and enrich the 1% and 2%ers. This really should make sense to what I'm saying. And if, in fact, you think I'm wrong here, which is distinctly possible, okay? Teach me what I don't know. Oh, Greg, you got this wrong because of that. Oh, Greg, you got this because of this. Oh, anyway, guys and girls, look, I don't know if they're done yet. Okay. Are we about to see a complete turnaround here? Is today the day? It's funny. This morning before I even did a video, I put out, I don't have a copy. If you go to my newsletter, is this the day? I actually put this out. Is this the day that the Fed is going to act? And it was the day. Was that a psychic impression? I don't know. What I was looking at this morning was the MMRI. The MMRI this morning, before anything happened, before the CPI came out or anything, I was observing the MMRI, again, free to everybody, link in the description of the video. I started to come down. I said, well, hold on a minute here. And then I sent it out to all of you. Check your inbox. Again, before anything, is today the day? Well, today turned out to be the day. That, I don't know. It's pretty extraordinary if you ask me. Oh, anyway. What else can I tell you, man? I don't know what to say. Look, first of all, second of all, third of all, whatever, a million of all, I want to thank all you guys and girls for being out here and just getting a grasp of what's happening here. Put the politics aside, the games, the nonsense, the deceptions, the distractions, this thing and everything else. Just stop and start to think for yourself. Open your eyes, people. Once you open your eyes and you see things, you can't unsee it anymore. It just changes you. You're the core of who you are. I think I'm speaking to, preaching to the crowd here, but that's kind of where we're at, man. Anyway, that's kind of exactly Joseph is correct here. The 1% continue to fatten the sheep, man. It's a crazy situation. Yeah, I tell you, I don't know, man. Where's Amanda? I don't know where Amanda is. Amanda's okay. Let her say what she wants to say, and she's probably goofing around, with all this stuff. Everybody knows the truth when they hear it, and everyone knows they're being played. Except for people like you and me, honestly, who are actually doing something about it. How are we doing something about it? Number one, we're educating ourselves, and we're at least trying to educate each other here. This thing, I can't tell you how proud I am of this thing we've built together after all these years. This is a phenomenon among itself. Do you realize that you and me, we're part of the same thing here, all right? I may be the daddy out here, the daddy lion, but this is our thing. And every day it gets bigger and bigger and grows and grows and grows. And I'm just so proud of it. I don't know what to say. What we've built here together, people, is it's phenomenal. I don't know another way to put it. and we're all doing it. We're all responsible for this thing that we have built together. It's really the truth. All right, guys and girls, I think we're gonna end up calling it here. You know what? The truth, Tank 624. You're right. Sometimes the truth does hurt. Words are powerful. You have to understand that. Words have power and they affect people. And when people, it's very difficult for people to accept that they've been lied to because it reflects badly on them. And I think it should reflect worse on the person that's lying to them. And this whole game that is being played, politics and central banks and the military industrial complex, what's going on here? The joke, once you realize that, look, it's okay to accept the fact, you know what, that we're all going to get lied to, man, and people are going to hurt us. That's the truth. People we love are going to hurt us. You got to learn that there are who are those that are worthwhile allowing them to hurt you. I don't think it's too many people, but I'll be honest with you. You know, once you accept the fact that this is a lie, everything is a lie across the board. No one's here to save you. Okay, you got to save yourself. You got to establish a relationship with the Almighty. You know my take on all that. I feel a profound responsibility to all of you because of my responsibility to the Almighty. And I don't want to one day have to answer for lies that I've told to anyone. I don't lie at all. I may be not right all the time. I'm trying my best, believe me, to bring you guys actionable, real information. Understand? Anyway, guys, look, I think we're kind of going to get out of here, right? Stockholm syndrome. Exactly. It's an incredible thing. People need to look this stuff up. It's the truth. All right. Look, love you all from the heart. Thank you for being here. Thank you. If I have earned your thumbs up, I would really appreciate that. Again, it does help the video get out there. It helps the algorithms. Comment anything, start interacting with each other as well, people. All right. Like I said, we've built something very, very special here. This is a worldwide thing. It's phenomenal, in my opinion. XRP price prediction, much higher. How's that? All right, guys and girls, love you all. Got you. We got each other's backs as always. I'll see you in the morning. Anyway, that's it. Until we meet again, people, please take care of yourselves. And of course, just as importantly, we got to take care of each other. Understand? I'll see you.